thank you very much, all of you. I'm kind of nervous and excited at the same time. It's gonna go live on our Facebook page as well. I'll be trying to see both platforms for the questions. And yeah, I think let's let the dogs out.
Let the dogs in.
Or
Just,
in, yeah.
Just can you hear me okay?
Put the cats in the other room, okay? The dogs are out.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
So we're live. I think more people will join us as the time goes. Hello world. Hello Maciej. Maciej Michalik. Good to see you guys. Everybody, I'm glad you're here. I'll in a minute I'll check also the Facebook page if we are live there. Hopefully yes, because it was planned for 6 p.m. exactly, and everything should be working. I would like to thank all the presenters or all our guests that they were willing to take part. Babeltalk has a long tradition, but there was 1 year hiatus, and when I decided to go for the next session, I wanted to be offline, of course, but since the situation in our countries is not so bright, I from the beginning I thought, okay, probably we'll have to do that as an online meeting. And when doing it as an online meeting, let's make it international. So I'm really happy. I have 5 very interesting speakers from 4 countries. First one is Philip. You might know him as he's the LinkedIn person and point of contact for many of us in the Czech Republic. He's from HTT Pool, a company, an exclusive partner of LinkedIn for the whole region. So I asked him to prepare some kind of quick overview of what's new and upcoming for the platform. And then we have 4 other speakers, one from each country, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and Poland, who will share their experience, and we'll have also hopefully time to discuss their experience, and that's it basically. So yeah, looking forward to this, and Philip, it's yours.
Thank you. Do I pick the deck, or is it up? Can you see the deck? Can you confirm? Adam?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. I'm happy to be with you here tonight or this evening. Thank you, Adam, for inviting me. As Adam mentioned, we do represent LinkedIn, and not only LinkedIn, but also other social media and digital platforms on the local market and in the region of Central and Eastern Europe. Talking LinkedIn, we do represent it in 20 markets across Central and Eastern Europe. And we provide local support to companies which use LinkedIn as a strategic part of their marketing mix. They use it as a marketing tool. This covers all different types of companies from both B2B and B2C sectors. Also, companies of very different sizes, from the biggest employers on the market to small startups. And also companies with both local and regional or global scope of communication. When I was thinking about what to present, I realized that there are lots of discussions about LinkedIn and lots of myths. So I wanted to take this opportunity and provide you with like a overview of what LinkedIn can bring for companies. And I'm sure my colleagues will dive a little deeper into each section and maybe even personal profiles later this evening. So what is LinkedIn? LinkedIn is the largest professional network in the world. It does connect almost 800 million people and 55 million companies from around the world. We have almost 2 million members in Czechia and about 650,000 members in Slovakia. What's interesting is that more than 40% of LinkedIn active members are active on a daily basis, and we're talking some seriously premium audiences here. If you look at LinkedIn members, they are in general far more urban, they have higher education, and they have higher income than average internet user. Almost 80% of LinkedIn members are in their best productive age, and over 50% of them drive business decisions today. And the rest, they will drive the decisions tomorrow. LinkedIn is a very strong platform, not only from the HR perspective, where it can help companies build their employer brand and obviously, find a new talent. It's also a very strong marketing platform, and both in B2B and B2C advertising. And obviously, LinkedIn is especially good source for discovering qualified leads. If we looked at what LinkedIn can do for companies, we can see three basic pillars of success. First, companies can leverage their employees, and they can benefit from their activity on LinkedIn. The rest is related to company pages or company profiles, and it can be divided into organic and paid part. Obviously, every company has a different position on the market and different size of the LinkedIn company page, and they can only benefit from each pillar to a certain extent. There is one exception though, and it's the paid part, which does not really have any limits. However, the great thing is that we can actually measure each of the three pillars. And what's even better is that we can relate it to specific target audiences and compare it against a set of competitive companies. So please let's look at each of the pillars. So first, come your employees. And this is often a starting point, a very popular strategy for companies on LinkedIn. For the other part, organic content works great if you have followers. And there are companies who post multiple times a day and they get massive reach for free because they have invested a lot of time and effort and money into building their audiences and follower base in past. But also, if we look at our market in Czechia or Slovakia, you can find quite strong LinkedIn pages that have lots of followers and they can benefit from posting organic content. But if you want to grow your business, you need to look for new audiences and new prospects. And that can be hardly done just with organic content. That takes us to sponsored content. And sponsored content is the best way how to approach new opportunities and how to guide your prospect through the marketing funnel from awareness through consideration to conversion. With sponsored content, you can precisely target and quickly reach audiences that are important to your business. With sponsored content, you can use special formats and strategies, like for example, retargeting. And these strategies and formats are not available for organic part. The only downside of paid part is that it requires investment. But as the word investment suggests itself, there is typically some return on it. So it's not a negative, it's not a downside, it's an opportunity. And especially in B2B, LinkedIn has proved to deliver a quite high return on investments. So even if you look at companies who have lots of followers, they very often use sponsored content to reach new audiences and bring new prospects to business. And that's both on global level and also on local level. And especially for smaller companies, which have limited number of followers, it is often the only way how to put their message in front of their potential customers. They cannot rely on organic, and they cannot rely on their employees to scale their business. Big brands are big because they have lots of customers. Small brands, they don't have lots of customers, and that's why they're small. But both big and small brands, they grow by acquiring new customers. Lucky for us, it doesn't mean you need to reach and target everyone. You just need to reach the potential buyers of your category. In B2C marketing, that may eventually be everyone. Like if you're selling a toothpaste, you will probably want to target everybody with teeth. But in B2b advertising, it looks very different. Not everyone can buy cloud computing solutions or ERP system. So you still need to reach as many category buyers as you possibly can. And not only current buyers, but ideally you want to reach future buyers as well. And LinkedIn is great at reaching this. So remember, if you cannot influence a buyer if you don't reach them. And that's what LinkedIn sponsored content is best at, reaching new audiences. Let me share one success story in the end. Templafy is a Danish SaaS company. It's not a small company, but it's not a very big one too. They wanted to target IT and marketing decision makers in large companies to generate a flow of marketing qualified leads to accelerate their business growth. They have decided to use LinkedIn because of its ability to greatly target and reach relevant decision makers at specific types of companies which were defined by company industry and company size. And Templafy use complex content and format strategy reflecting their customers' journey, and they have guided them from building awareness through nurturing engaged members to generating leads. And over the course of time, Templafy was able to generate between 15 and 25 marketing qualified leads every week. And these leads converted into sales opportunities at the rate of 20%, which is great. Their cost per lead was reduced by 55%, and they received a return on investment of almost 500%. So even for a company like Templafy, LinkedIn has proved to be a very effective channel for reaching rapid business growth. And since we can find many companies like Templafy in our region, not only in Czechia, in Slovakia, in Poland, in Hungary, it is clear that LinkedIn marketing is definitely an interesting topic in CEE too. But it does require very complex approach, not only to personal profiles of your ambassadors and employees, but also to your company page, both on organic side and on the paid side. Thank you.
Thanks, Philip. Hopefully, maybe some of the people in the audience have some questions, or some of the speakers. If you have the questions in the audience, please write it here in the chat, and the speakers are free to ask away. You can unmute yourself and ask Philip if you have.
Yeah, happy to answer any questions or leave it in the chat and I'll have a look at it.
Philip, will you stay with us?
Yes.
For like the whole session? Great.
Yes, I will.
So maybe we'll have more questions when it's all finished. I do have one question which will maybe appear again for some of the speakers. What do you perceive as an optimal strategy when it comes to choosing the language of your content if the company is kind of stretched between, let's say, their local market and their international presence?
Well, basically there are three approaches. One is you have one global page and the content is typically a mixture of languages. Good thing is that when you reach a certain number of followers, you can target organic as well as sponsored content. So you can target specific countries with local language, and this content is not visible in other countries. The second approach is that you have a specific company page for every country that has its own language, and it's very hardly say which approach is better. It really reflects the size of the company, its scope. I mean, we do have clients that run like every option, one global profile, or they have one local, typically in Czechia or in Slovakia, and then they have one like regional page for like Europe, or they have multiple pages like for each country. To me, running one profile is, a little better on your budget and on your resources.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Tomáš.
Okay, you cannot advertise in Hungarian, but can you advertise in Czech, Slovakian, Polish?
Well, LinkedIn does support about 23 languages. It does include Czech language. It does include Polish. It doesn't include Slovakian language. It doesn't include Hungarian, unfortunately. As HTTP pool, we have seen this in Baltics. We have seen this in Balkans, in Greece, in Hungary. Unfortunately, those languages are not allowed to be used in promoted formats. So if you want to run sponsored content, you must run it in English language.
Or, if you know how to do it, you can advertise in Hungarian.
Yes, if you multiply the campaign until it runs clear, then yes, you can run it in Slovakian. Our clients do it, but it's a workaround, and nobody can guarantee that it's going to work tomorrow.
I've heard this both from HTTP pool in Hungary and from AG Wilcox in the US. So they all both have this strategy, and sometimes it works, sometimes it's not. But what I don't see is that LinkedIn is actively switching off these ads. So if once an ad is on, they never switch it off.
It does happen, but very seldom.
5 years ago, they were switching off advertisements, but nowadays, I feel like they don't have energy to do that. So if you are lucky and you could, then it stays.
Yes, I mean, it does require a little more effort in setting up campaigns, but I would say that like 95% of our campaigns in Slovakia, our partners are able to run them in Slovak language.
Is there any difference trying it on your own or using the HTTP pool supported accounts?
I think on LinkedIn, it doesn't really matter. It's different on Twitter. for example, on Twitter, you can't really open an account in Czech or Slovak language without being supported by HTTP pool, but on LinkedIn you can. And the process of, releasing or reviewing the ads is similar for supported and not supported accounts.
Okay. Maybe.
And we already replied Matej Michlik.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He had basically the very same question about Slovakian in ads. Do you have any maybe hints on coming support for more languages?
LinkedIn has recently implemented support for Finnish language, which was not among the supported ones. But to be honest, I don't see a support for Slovak language or Hungarian language anytime soon.
Can I would just like, hello. I would just like to ask a small question. If it still works the best when you set English as the language in your campaign?
Yes, if you're setting up campaigns, setting English language allows you to reach all the users in the region. So, for example, in Czechia, about 25% of members, they don't have their account or profile language set to Czech. Typically, these are people who were setting up their profiles earlier when there was no Czech language. So if you select Czech, you're losing 25% of your audience.
Perfect, thanks.
But does this mean that if someone has it turned in English, no, if you advertise in English, you can reach everyone?
In the region, yes. With English, you're reaching all the members within the country.
And it doesn't matter whether you are in Hungary, Czech Republic, Finland, whatever, Germany?
Yes, it's same across all the markets. So if our clients run campaigns in Czech language and in Czechia, we always encourage them to use the geo-targeting for Czech Republic and language setting English, even if the ads are in Czech. And it always provides better results. It might be a little different, for example, in the DACH region, where many companies use German language profile to reach like the German people, and they sometimes don't want to reach all the users in the given region.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's very good.
Do you think, Philip, you mentioned that there's a really high ratio of daily active users? I tend not to believe the number 1.9 million people, right? Because that's totally impossible.
Adam, it's not active members. 1.9 million is the number of listed profiles on LinkedIn. So it's total number of registered profiles. There will likely be few duplicates or some duplicates. It's very unlikely that there will be some fake profiles.
Yeah, I don't think it.
And for sure, these members are not active. A lot of people just set up their LinkedIn profile and they never log in. What we see is that you can typically reach around 50 to 60% of your audience. So if within a campaign, so within let's say 2 weeks. So I would say that the active members on LinkedIn, there would be around 1 million in Czech Republic.
Monthly active users.
What's quite interesting is that increasingly a lot of those active members are active on a daily basis.
Okay.
But very seldom clients use LinkedIn to target all the users in the country. I would say that the typical, target group would be like 60 to 100,000 members.
Okay. And reaching about half of them in a matter of 2
Yes,
weeks.
in a matter of, let's say, 10 days.
Okay. Okay. So I think thanks Philip for now, and we'll continue with Tamas.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Tamas is greeting from Budapest. Is that correct? Or you're now
Not very far from Budapest. If I tell I'm from Nagykovácsi, you most probably have no clue how to spell it. So it's Budapest, Budapest area.
okay. So the stage is yours.
Yes.
Really looking forward to it.
So I click the presentation, and now I'm waiting. Yes, here it is. Okay, so
Oh. Sorry,
now
sorry. I didn't want to mute you, but myself.
no problem. So yes, this is my Bitmoji I've just learned from many of my European LinkedIn Room partners on Clubhouse who use Bitmojis like John Esperian and Guy Straybush. So I created my own Bitmoji version. You see my mustache, and I have an extra mustache here. So what I'm going to talk about is there are tools on LinkedIn, what is designed for something else, then you can use them. And actually you can kind of, not real hacking, but somehow hack a little bit LinkedIn and gain more out of it than usually we use them. So I'm going to show you tools what we hack, and then hacks for the tools. And later on, I'm going to talk to you. This was me with hair, but well, I went to my private own hair shaver, and I shaved off my hair for this nice summer weather here in Hungary. So these are 14 legal hacks I'm going to show you. What you can use from tomorrow on, or actually tonight you can turn them on. Some are a little bit tricky, some are not very tricky at all. And a little bit about me, I'm Tamás Banki. I'm a LinkedIn trainer for more than 10 years, and I'm on LinkedIn for 14 years. It was a very, 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 very different LinkedIn what we had that time. Actually, recently, we are getting the new LinkedIn profile view on desktop and laptop. Desktop, not on mobile yet, but most probably on mobile we are going to get something new as well very soon. Just today I found some new icon on my phone that I can send immediately a video very quickly with a nice green little sign of a camera. So about the background image, I often see people who don't use their background image as good as, like Adam has Babeltalk on it today. I have my phone number and about my services, and as we saw in Philip's presentation, there was that screen on the left. There was that man with a very huge few words or a word. I don't know. It was maybe the brand name of the company. And that was very, very strong and very easy to use, and it's free of charge. So you can advertise yourself, you can advertise your company. If you are working in an organization of a company, I would rather use 1 or 3, 4 different version of the same background image, which is really, really growing very well the brand, and it gives an extra brand awareness. The pronouns and the cover story. The pronouns is for telling people how to pronounce your name. This was the idea of LinkedIn. But you have 10 seconds of introducing yourself and give a little knowledge about you for those who are clicking on the little megaphone sign, which is very odd on LinkedIn, but soon some other odd things are coming to LinkedIn as well. Anyway, there is a cover story. If you click on someone's head who has a circle, an orange circle around their head, they can watch a 30 seconds introduction. So I recommend everyone to use, because that's a very, very easy way to introduce yourself. And a visible thing, what is very important in these days when we are, we never meet, we are online, and I'm sitting in almost Budapest, and you all sit somewhere else, and we cannot meet, and it's with companies the same. So if you have this little video of 30 seconds, it's really, really helpful for those who want to know you more, and gives a little trust, a little extra trust. The away message is a tool. It's like if you have a email system and you go to vacation, you can say that I went to vacation. This is why they call it away message. But what I'm doing is that just today and tomorrow there are 2 events, and I'm advertising these events. So those who are writing me a message, they immediately get an auto-responded message from LinkedIn saying that this and that is the most important things about Tamás at the moment, and it's not an away message. But this is a fun hack to use and to get more from LinkedIn. And these are all free tools. Events, you can actually download all the email addresses of those who are coming to your event. This is a brilliant tool for remarketing, for starting a remarketing campaign, because these people are interested in your service or product or event, whatever. And you collect their email addresses, what you can use. And if you are organizing an event, it only works if you use the LinkedIn registry link. And in this case, you can do 2 things. One, you don't need to bring the people to a landing page, which is an extra click, and every click you don't need from the user is a benefit. And on the other hand, you can use LinkedIn Live immediately without setting anything extra on. The recommendation is something LinkedIn changed a bit recently. You cannot see how many recommendations one get or one given. I don't know. I'm not happy with this, but in the European LinkedIn room, what we have every Monday morning, 9 a.m. CET on Clubhouse, there my partners were telling that, oh, this is brilliant, because because no one can really see how many is given and received. I don't know. I was happy to see more given and less received. I will miss those numbers. But what I brought here, the recommendations, I just read it somewhere, and it's a brilliant idea that if you have the recommendation, you can copy the recommendation and put it in your work experience. In every work experience, you can put one of these recommendations you get, like testimonials. So this is an extra little trick what could help you. This last one, the profile hack, is something where you can learn how to build a better LinkedIn profile easy. So this says that you find 5-6 competitors of yours, you print their profiles on Friday, you go relax on a weekend, or you don't relax because you have children, you go back to relax to your work during in Monday, and then on Monday you check all the 5-6 printed profiles, and you check your profile printed out as well. Then you can see what is better in this and what is worse on that, so you can really help to yourself. Just a second, I'm going out for the chat for a second, because I saw that Sona Sipulova was telling, when collecting email addresses, are we in compliance with GDPR? Yes, because these email addresses were given to LinkedIn, and they could opt out from LinkedIn giving out our their email address to us. So GDPR, we are absolutely proven, absolutely I don't know. Okay. About hashtags. I think it's very important to not only think hashtag as itself, but as the SHO is, in my term, is search human optimization. So if you have a hashtag which says, I don't know, Heineken is good for you, no, Guinness is good for you, and if you write it down in one with little letters only, or with capital letters only, that's not working very well for our eyes. But if you put Guinness not with a big G, is with a big I, etc., that's visible and easy to read, and gives you an extra plus, which is not really a countable plus, but easy to read, makes it easier for the user. Officially, we are not official LinkedIn people here, so there are some third-party tools on Google Chrome, and I'm using this LinkedIn hashtag, very dumb name, but anyway, this tool to check how many followers a hashtag has. And the reason why it's important is that I've heard from someone that if you use hierarchically the biggest follower number at the beginning, and then the second, and then the third, and the fourth, etc., that's better for LinkedIn, and it's going to give more your content to more viewers. I'm not sure if it's okay, if it's right, but this is what I heard, and this is what I use. With hashtags, it's very important to have at least 3 hashtags with your content always, but never more than 9. So if you have 4 or 5, it's fine. 6, 7, 8, 9 is still okay. But 10 or 2 or not, you are going to get a little restriction from LinkedIn, which is not always true. I've heard from the Shield, the CEO of Shield, Andres Johansson, that the 3 most viewed content on LinkedIn was, one of them was without hashtag, and the other 2 was with only 1 hashtag, but they were all text-only posts. Though Richard van den Bloem found that if you are using more than 1 images in 1 post, that might bring you extra viewers. So you can add 9 images. So I recommend you to use 9 images if possible. And I didn't mention the polls here, but use polls. They are 450% more viewed than a single image post. So I really recommend everyone to use polls. People, LinkedIn expert mainly hate polls, but those polls are working very, very well. Okay, about the free message to me. If you are a premium member of LinkedIn, you can tell that I'm an open networker. And in this case, if you are an open networker, everyone can write you freely on LinkedIn. And I think this is actually more important than being able to write an email, because this opens the doors for you on LinkedIn. Email is not a very well opened tool, and sponsored email or message ads are not, as far as I heard, not that very, very good. But the conversation ads, which is a chatbot kind of something, that are much better than the sponsored email. And the last on this list is the hiring, which is obviously many people are looking for a job nowadays. In some businesses, you cannot find anyone. So those who are looking for business, they looking for a new job, they are happy to see hiring, and it's a little pink ring on your profile image, and I'm sure that helps a little to your company, your brand awareness. These tools I'm not 100% sure is interesting for anyone, but oh, Adam, you have a question about hashtag. I have one question about hashtags, more towards Philip probably. I realized that even if you see recent hashtags, you don't see all the content with the hashtag, unlike Twitter or Instagram. Well, I cannot answer this. Maybe Philip can.
Yeah, that's something we actually tried. Kind of it's a first-hand experience. I think it might have something to do with the language, for example, because I was actively looking for content with the hashtag name, with the name of a given company, and since I have LinkedIn in English, and I was, on one screen I had the results with see recent, so I should see basically everything. And on the second screen, I had the profiles of the employees who were posting sometimes in English and sometimes in Czech. And most probably I have LinkedIn switched to English. I only saw those English posts and some Korean ones, but not the Czech ones. And that's not for the first time. I stumbled upon this already, that sometimes you click through the hashtag itself, you get to the page of the results with the post you clicked being displayed as the first one. But when you just send the same link to somebody else who was not clicking through that post, he not only does not see it first, but does not see it at all. So I don't know whether it's a feature or a bug, but as far as I know, this is the situation now. So sometimes it might be kind of, we tend to tell people, guys, follow us on LinkedIn, also using our favorite hashtag. But I'm not really sure how much it works. With our own audience, I believe the fact that they are, close connections, we are already connected, I think they probably see that. But when you recommend this more for, let's say, companies, hey guys, you're 100 people on LinkedIn, so you should stick to one, let's say, motto or something like that as your LinkedIn hashtag. It doesn't seem to work the way I would believe it's intended, unfortunately.
I never tried, and I'm very seldomly use hashtag as a user. So I'm not following hashtags. I'm not checking hashtags. I'm just I just use it as a part of my posts, and I never really believed in it. I'm using it because I don't want to be penalized by LinkedIn, but I don't really know if anyone ever uses it. And I know that there are cultural differences. We are in Hungary, Twitter is not existing. So let's say 60,000 people are using Twitter. So why to use Twitter? But on Twitter, actually, hashtag is coming from Twitter. Many people think it's coming from Instagram, but no, it's coming from Twitter. But Twitter is not used, so we don't have the hashtag culture here. So people are coming from the Instagram, they are using hashtags. I mean, quadrillion of hashtags. They can put all 3,000 characters of hashtags, which is obviously not very good, but this is how they use sometimes.
Okay, yeah. So that was just like a little thing. Let's
okay,
continue with the cool stories.
This is a very strange tool. You can hibernate yourself on LinkedIn. One day, a friend and a client asked me, "Hey Tamas, can you tell me how can I not be visible on LinkedIn at all?" And I said, "Come on, you cannot." And just on the very day later, I just found how you can do that. And this is a very strange thing, but it's very easy to do. If you go to your public profile, if you go to your profile, and on the upper right corner, you see edit public profile. And if you go there and you switch it off, then you are completely out of LinkedIn. No one can find you. Okay, you have to wait like 48 hours to work, but after that 48 hours, no one is going to find you. So it's a very, very strange tool. But if you don't want to delete your account, but you don't want to be visible, you can turn yourself off and keep your network on. So if you want to come back, your network is still there. I think this is not a hack, but this is a cool thing on LinkedIn, a freezing cool thing. Okay, mention. It's very important that many people are mentioning each other, but often mentions are not visible in the notifications. So if you have someone who has a larger network and an active network and gets a lot of notifications, that person might not find any mentions in the notifications. So the way how you can get those people know about your mention is to write them a message on LinkedIn. Otherwise, LinkedIn is going to penalize your post again, because if you have the maximum of 20 mentions and no one is ever replying or connecting this post, never gives a like or a comment, then you are going to be penalized very badly by LinkedIn. We tend to like the big numbers of likes and follows and views and comments, but they are not always important. Okay, likers are not lurkers. What do I mean by that? Those people who are liking, they are not lurkers anymore. Who is a lurker? Lurker is a person who is only reading, only consuming the content on LinkedIn. So they never click a like, they never write a comment, they never click a share. Well, they shouldn't click a share, because share is still not very good on LinkedIn. LinkedIn says that it's good, but it's not working. So why a lurker is good? I've just heard about a lady who was an English and UK-based content creator who was writing a lot of posts about how to get a job on LinkedIn. And this lady got a lurker, was calling her and offered a job for her to go to Oman to be Secretary of State of, I don't know, human resources. So we should be very happy with our lurkers. We should give them more and let them write a lot. And I don't know why I've written this here. Write a great subject to your emails. But emails are very seldomly opened. Mainly because the recruiters are often sending emails, and the salespeople, the not very well trained salespeople, are often sending stupid emails. And because of these two very badly using actors, nobody likes to open emails unless you give a very, very good subject line. And I've already mentioned this last one, single vs multiple call to actions. So if you are using images, you can always write on your image anything. Nowadays, Facebook doesn't put your a ban on your advertisement if you have more than 20% of content words on your picture, but for many years they were penalizing those advertisers who used more than 20% of content on the image itself. And as we cannot advertise in Slovakian and in Hungarian, what you can do is advertise in Hungarian and in Slovakian on the picture itself. So you put on the image the content in your own language, and that works. If you are using documents on LinkedIn, what is very good, I just learned from Sebastian Ong from Zurich. He's a Singaporean LinkedIn guru who just told me that if you put URLs in the documents and someone is downloading it, they are going to download into a PDF where the URLs are staying as it is. So it's a very good trick to put white pages or ebooks on LinkedIn in the documents area with call to actions on it. You can put 300 pages documents, so you can use a lot. And what I was not mentioning here is the newsletters. I have a newsletter in Hungarian, so you don't have to follow it because you cannot read it. And LinkedIn is not allowing to translate articles. But what is a brilliant thing in articles that you can put 125,000 characters there, which is 60 pages, more than 60 pages of an ebook or a case study or something what is valuable. And this is it. Thank you very much for all. If you want to contact me, you can contact me on these sites. Tamásbanki.com is in English, so I'm blogging there in English. If you are Hungarian, you can read tamásbanki.com in English and bankitamás.hu in Hungarian, full stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tamás. One quick question, because I don't want to forget about it. On the last slide, I think that's a cool trick about using images for some kind of CTA, but unfortunately, you cannot still advertise posts with a gallery, right? So you on a page.
Not a gallery, but you can do the carousel ads.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
What I've heard from AJ Wilcox is that very important to do in CPM the carousel ads, because otherwise it costs some 30% more if you use with CPC, because if you are using a carousel ad, you try to use each carousel with especially UTM for every single image. So LinkedIn is counting in a way that if you click on 2 of these images, then they count it more.
Yep.
So if you are advertising with carousel ads, you have to think about CPM, otherwise you pay more, which is very funny because usually CPM is the more expensive.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. But I really I find it strange that you cannot advertise, like you cannot promote page posts with multiple images, and you cannot promote page posts with PDFs, like, like, why?
Very good questions. And the one of my favorite podcasts is AJ Wilcox podcast about LinkedIn ads, and he has these questions, and he is the guy who is invited to beta test a lot of advertisements, and he is the guy who gives good ideas to LinkedIn to start using these and that advertisement. So I don't really understand why LinkedIn is doing this and that, but LinkedIn is developing in many aspects, as I see.
If I may add to this promoting documents, currently LinkedIn is in beta for document ads. We have 3 clients in this beta, and they're able to promote PDF files, white papers, and stuff. And we're seeing quite great results. The CTR is often between 3 and 4%, which is like 8 times higher than usual traffic campaigns. Hopefully, early Q1 next year, this document ads will be available to all public.
And what is the difference between carousel and documents ads?
Well, Carousel, it gives you an option to create like, a small picture and put multiple pictures with individual landing pages into this carousel ad. Document ads allows you to promote content that contains PDF files or PowerPoint presentations or documents, which is extremely important on LinkedIn during the consideration phase, because a lot of companies have very interesting content and they want to share it with new audiences and prospects and nurture them with interesting stuff. And without being able to promote these PDF files, white papers, it's not easy for them to reach new audiences, and they have to reach them with ads that drive traffic to their website where they can download the documents. And typically then, the CTR on traffic campaigns will be around 0.5%, while with document ads, you can serve it directly to them on LinkedIn and get them very seamlessly download the documents and read the interesting stuff with click-through rate between 3 and 5%.
And does it work with lead generation form as well?
Not yet. It is actually, not meant to be a lead generation. Documents are meant to be nurturing, and you do not want to gate this content because you want as many people to read it as possible, and you want to pay for that. If you want lead generation, you don't need document ads. If you want lead generation, you can just post, download this interesting content, leave us a contact and download it.
So it's more.
It's actually, one of the most common errors for companies who are new to LinkedIn or who try to generate leads early in the funnel or at the top of the funnel when it's too early, and they approach cold audiences with content and they gate it instead of giving out the interesting content for people to start being interested in their company, in their product. So they say, well, give us your details and we'll tell you something interesting. Instead of, here is the interesting part, let's discuss.
Okay, now I get it. Thank you very much, Philip.
You're welcome.
You have a question, Philip. Can you do remarketing on people who clicked on document ads?
Well, it's beta, so it's not nowhere close to 100% functional. So retargeting option is not there. I believe there will be an option to retarget people who download the content, but I mean it's not available for beta. So we'll see in Q1 if there is a chance. I believe there will be.
Thanks very much. In the name of Valeria. Okay, thank you, Adam. I'm silencing myself.
Thank you very much, Tomasz. If anybody has then some other questions, I think we'll get to it as well. And I would like to invite Ivana now. She said she doesn't need a presentation because she wants just to go live and tell you some of her experience. I think she's if you follow even a little bit the Slovak LinkedIn landscape, I guess you couldn't miss her. But maybe if you are from Poland or Hungary, you didn't have the chance to meet her yet. So the stage is yours, and I'm again looking forward to Not sure if it's just me, but we don't hear you. even though you are unmuted. Still not. Yes, you are. So I think that must be somewhere on your side of the microphone, I guess, because when you were connected earlier on, it worked well. But if it doesn't seem, then let's maybe reconnect quickly. I'll make you a presenter. Okay, so we can do that. We can follow up with Daniel now, but or I can just try to relogin you. Let's see what it does.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's okay.
Perfect. Yeah, I was just telling you how excited I am to be here. So I'm going to repeat that. So thank you so much for having me today. I'm going to talk about the employee advocacy, how you can motivate your employees to have fun on LinkedIn and to really enjoy it. We started with employee advocacy programs for our clients about 8 years ago. And like when we started, we just heard, okay, I hate social media. It was from the CEO, but I need someone to do that for me. So just let's do that with the employees. And you can imagine that it doesn't work that well when you tell somebody like, I really hate this, but you can do this. So me and Christina, we have been building employee advocacy programs for our clients for the last 8 years. And I would like to share what we have learned and like the main things that are important for you if you are watching and you are thinking like, how could we use in a good way our employees to build our brand, to sell on LinkedIn, or to attract talent. We work with finance companies, banks, insurance companies, IT companies, startups, small, big, large corporates. And we have had about 5,000 clients already. So if you have any questions about employee advocacy, just go ahead and type it in the chat, please. And I would just start with the most important things that we have learned, and there are 3 of them. So the first one is, when you want your employees to be a part of your LinkedIn, you need to change the narrative. To change the narrative that it is something that has to be done, should be done. And, you know, companies should have their employees on LinkedIn. You should switch it to it's an honor to represent the company on LinkedIn. We are looking for people from our company that could be the ambassadors of our brand, of our culture, of our projects, and really ask your employees, like, who wants to try this out? And maybe you will be really surprised. Like, often we hear, like, there will be no one in this company willing to be an ambassador for our brand. And we even hear that in companies that have thousands of employees. So basically, I can really tell you that during 8 years, we have never had a company that hasn't found people who are willing to try and at the end really get results with LinkedIn. But it's about the changing the narrative and tell them, like, yeah, this will be an honor and we are looking for people who are willing to do that. You don't have to have people who are already very good with LinkedIn. It's great, like, when there are people who like LinkedIn and go there very often, but it's not necessary. Maybe you have people who are active on Facebook or Instagram, social media queens, and they really are ready to go public with their LinkedIn profile. So they just need help with the tools, how to do that professionally. But anyway, they have the personality for that. You don't even need people who are only extroverts. We work a lot with tech companies and manufacturing companies, and there are a lot of introverted people, and still they can be great ambassadors. They will post differently. Their content will be definitely different than the content of an extrovert. But anyway, it's a great way to promote your company, even with people who think they are not able to go public on LinkedIn. So you just need to find a way how to motivate them. So first, you change the narrative about the whole LinkedIn thing in your company, and then you change the mindset of the people. Because usually when we come to talk to new clients, their people think that LinkedIn is kind of a database and database of CVs. And then they don't really see the opportunities for them personally and what they can achieve as individuals. Because when you want to have really successful employee advocacy program, you need to work with the ambassadors and find their motivation. So their motivation is not build your company brand, and usually it's not even to sell on LinkedIn, even though they are salespeople, because they don't see the opportunities. So you really have to like paint it on the canvas for them so that they understand like what is the real potential, how can I reach those leads, who are the potential leads, how is it different when I get them from LinkedIn comparing to other social media platforms or other tools, other ads. And basically the leads are never cold when you get them from LinkedIn. So this is really a huge difference for a salesperson. For example, for your employees in HR, they think that LinkedIn takes a lot of time. Like they will be there searching for people and it really takes a lot of time. They don't usually think it's worth it. So like basically when they don't have the results yet, they don't see it. So basically what you can do is show them that with creating content, they can attract the talent and they don't have to go and search for them. So it really saves time. And the number one thing that we hear from clients is, I don't have time. I don't have time to create content. I don't have time to go on LinkedIn. I don't have time to search for leads. But when you show them, like, what does that mean? What they can have from LinkedIn, they will find the time, definitely. So when you tell them, like, in the next year, you can have €500,000 in sales from LinkedIn, and it's totally doable because we have done this for several companies, they listen. If you tell them you can get 30 to 40% more candidates for your job ads on LinkedIn or organic job ads you use on LinkedIn, they will listen. So definitely what we recommend is to bring a great group of people from your company, from different departments. Usually it's sales, it's HR, it's marketing, of course, and it's a technical person like a CTO or product manager, for example. And then there is somebody from the board or from the management. And the question we get very often is, tell me who are the CEOs to follow in Czech Republic and Slovakia who are really active and doing great work. And there is not a lot of them. So the competition on the board level is really low, and that is perfect. So like talking about organic reach, like 1% people, 1% of people creating the content, it's just perfect. But when you talk about CEOs creating content, and especially creating content by themselves, and you can tell if they create it by themselves, there is very little competition, and they can get really a lot of reach. So like when we talk about a corporation with 5 to 9 ambassadors, they can get millions of views for free for their organic reach. So I think this is really, really interesting. And I definitely have to say that the organic reach on LinkedIn here in Slovakia and Czech Republic is really high. We have clients in the US, in Canada, Israel, like then all over Europe. And the reach here is just great. So definitely, if you are going to new markets, you have to consider paid ads, of course, and it works well if it's done well. And I think Daniel will talk about that later, that it's really important how you do it, because otherwise you will spend a lot of money and not having the results. So like the most important things for the employee advocacy is to changing the narrative, changing the mindset of your people, and finding their motivation, just to recap those three. You can see that the company pages really gain importance. Like in the last year, you have seen like new things that have been added, like new functions, like for example, the tab My Company. And it's really a great way how you can create content for your employees. And they just go there, write their own text, so they can change the text that you have prepared. And in 2 minutes, their organic content is ready for their own personal profiles. And this is really a game changer. Because, yes, Tamás said, like, sharing isn't working that well. Like, you will always have there from LinkedIn, like, please share this on your personal profile, but please don't. So, like, the best way how to get a really organic reach for your company page is to like and comment. So the best way is to teach your employees to like and comment your stuff. And if you now have the question, like, what happens if only our people, our employees, will like and comment our content? And basically 33% of engagement on company pages comes from own employees. So it's totally normal. And I always ask our clients, like, what if even your employees don't like and comment your content? How do you want the people who don't know you to do that? So like the best way is to teach them how to do that, because usually companies just motivate their employees, go to our company page and share. And this is really not the way how to get great engagement for your content. The other thing you can do for your company pages is to have, like, usually you have like branded photos with logos, and it is done by agencies, or it looks like it has been done by an agency. And you can mix it up with raw photos from your employees, for example, or the photos that you have been taken like an admin of the page. So then really the people will not get bored with like the same content all the time. Specifically, if you have had the company page for example, 2 or 3 years, and the content is still the same, you really need to shake it up a little bit to make it more interesting for your audience. Companies are often afraid that their employees, if they're on LinkedIn, that they will get job offers, and really they will lose some of their employees. And it is true that you can lose your employees, but you don't need LinkedIn for that. So there are many ways how you can lose your employees. And I would say, like, being on LinkedIn and really active as a company will bring you more talent. And then you can work with your employees really strongly, like for internal communication purposes. And you can communicate, for example, the benefits that you have in your companies. And basically for your employees, it's like, oh, whatever, we have 5 sick days, it's normal. But when they get the social proof from their contacts, like, wow, I would love to have 5 sick days because I have small children, and this would really help me. Then you really see that the social proofs makes your own employees to appreciate you as an employer much more. So this is one of the greatest results that you can really get from employee advocacy. So basically, if you are afraid that you will lose people, they're already on LinkedIn. So what you need to do is to give them tools to build your brand and sell for you on LinkedIn, and build your employer brand. Because if you don't do that, they are there and they are getting their offers anyway. So basically, just to recap at the end, what do you need to give to your employees to be successful advocates for your company? So you need to give them the opportunity to show their expertise. When we start with companies, usually those people, like those ambassadors that have been chosen, they really don't think they have much to share. And usually those are the people who have a lot to share. Like, they have so much interesting stuff going on in their working life, but they're just afraid to share it. So if you really support them, you will build their personal brand, even though they think they don't want to build their personal brand. Usually they will say, I just want to build the company brand. But then they will get the social proof. They will see that people like what they're saying. They will get invited to conferences, to events. They will get, or they will be recognized with some kind of awards. And then they will really see what LinkedIn has brought to them. You have to trust them. Like, this is number 2. I really recommend to let them create their own content and give them guidelines, give them training, but let them do it by themselves. Do not try to prepare content like for everyone in your company. It's just not doable. You can do it with your CEO or just a few people, but trust them and they will bring you results. Give them the structure and clear plan, because otherwise they will be on LinkedIn, like doing whatever, getting lost in all those messages and in their homepage, scrolling all over, but they will not bring the results. So if you have your employees on LinkedIn and they are not bringing results in brand building, sales, or bringing the right candidates for you, you have to change the structure and give them the system and plan what to do. And then just give them the tools, give them the training, and give them the time. Like, for example, we meet with our clients once in a month, and we really recommend you to like do it even for yourself internally, and bring the team once a month and really brainstorm and talk about the issues that you're having with LinkedIn. And that really makes your team keep going, because it's important like to start the program and then really make them to keep going and have fun. Basically, if they're having fun on LinkedIn and they are having results, like you need the two things, fun and results, then they will keep on going, and you need them to keep going at least for 6 to 12 months. So thank you very much. This is from me. If you have any questions, like, go ahead. And if you're thinking about LinkedIn advocacy program and you're thinking like, should we start or shouldn't we? Let me tell you, it will be much more expensive to start later on. Like, now you can really get the organic reach. You can do it for free, but definitely I am sure that LinkedIn will monetize it much, much more in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ivana. Maybe if you can share with us one or two examples of companies where we maybe wouldn't expect them to turn on LinkedIn, and you would like to just, you know, showcase who of them should we check out?
Yeah, I will write it down in the chat, like maybe during Daniel is talking. And basically for example, one interesting case is B2b Banka. It's the second largest bank here in Slovakia. And in their culture and basically in their culture, they have humor. So we were thinking like, should a board member talk on LinkedIn with a little bit of humor? I'm talking about Andrej Vicenik. He is hilarious. And we really decided that this will be his tone of voice for LinkedIn. So even though you are working in really in an industry that doesn't usually use humor, you can try it out, but definitely it should be your personal tone of voice. Like, you don't seem like somebody has written that for you. So I'm going to write down in the chat some of the companies that we have worked with. And for example, what is interesting are companies that are in the retail sector. Yeah, so you would say like B2C companies that wouldn't use LinkedIn that much, but they do. So I will give you some examples to the chat.
Yeah, I've been following DM Drogeria, right? They've been very proud of your cooperation. So yeah, and I'll be glad to check out a few other examples, and I believe others as well. I think we have here Peter from Marketing Journal with the question: how should the plan for employees look like? Timetable, recommended length?
Yeah, this is a great question, because like when we start the employee advocacy program, like the first question always is, when should we post, you know, and what kind of content? And we always say with my sister Christina and the partner in crime for LinkedIn, like, you have to step back and like reverse engineer it from your goal. So you will start with your goal. Do I want to attract new clients? Do I want to hire 40 people next year? Do I want to attract media? Like, what is the thing that you would like to have next year? Or it could be a combination of those. And then you have to reverse engineer, like, what do we do for that? So first I would start with the goal. Then I would start with a little kickoff for the employees. We do like a 30-minute kickoff where we tell them, like, what do we want for them? Like, we will need you to be available for 1 to 2 hours a week for 6 months to 12 months. And you will need to do this. So we just present them, like, what is it about? And then we ask the employees, tell us, is that interesting for you? Like, would you like to be a part of it? And we get some people who say yes. Then we check their profiles. We check if it's like if it works with the goals that we have for the next year, for example. Then we prepare the strategy, and then like we prepare the plan. You know, so the plan is like at the end of the process. And if you do it for yourself internally, you still have to start with the goal. Because if you tell people, like, give me 2 hours a week for 12 months, and you don't have a goal for them, they're not going to do that. So you have to have the goal, and then you have to have quite a strict KPIs so that you can really work with them. Like, did you do this? You didn't. Why? Do you need any help? How can we help you? And basically, it doesn't really matter, like, what are the posts, like how long are they, or if it's a poll, or if it's text, or if it's a picture. Yeah, there are differences, like polls, yeah, 4 times more. Yeah. We have seen that, like each one of us. But it doesn't matter. If you have people who understand the goal, who know what they want to achieve on LinkedIn, then you really have an army of people ready to post, and they will find their way. So we can tell them, like, okay, at the moment, go and use polls, but it's just a small part. The biggest part is their motivation, is the regular meeting with other people in the team. And for example, usually we bring team that has never been working together like that. So it really creates friendships, and then they're like willing to help each other. So this is the number one thing you need to do to start with your goal. And then, of course, you can have a timetable for posts, but from our experience, if you are too strict about that, they will not have fun. And then they will post less and less. If you have paid advertising, like, this is a different story. Like, you need to really properly set it up and, like, you know, like, have the funnel and everything. But for organic reach, you need to let them have fun and just tweak it, like during the months that you work with the team. And you can tell them each time, like, what to do better. But don't be too strict at the beginning.
Okay. Any other questions for Ivana? From other speakers, maybe?
Can you please write put the links into this chat so we can easily find them, because I'm not sure if I correctly written down the name of the bank.
Yeah, I will post the URLs. I think that's like the best way to let you follow them. So go ahead and follow them, please.
And I just I'm sorry, the background noise, but I just wanted to ask, my CEO is I just became a member of a company. I'm an employee now, and my CEO is just like you were mentioning. I hate this. No, she doesn't. But I'm not doing it. I don't have time. Come on.
Yes.
I don't have time. So she's not there, and there are 2 people who are doing things with her profile, and that's I was writing a lot about your so I'm going to tell her a lot about these things because she needs to learn, and many of my employee colleagues, they also like, oh, come on, I don't have time for this, and I understand them. But yes, this weekly 1 or 2 hours, that's brilliant. That's not that much time.
Yeah,
You can,
it's totally doable. Like if you have a person on the C level, usually the best way to get them on board is to tell them like, we need 5 minutes a day from you, or even 3 minutes just to start. And it's really addictive. Like all of you know how addictive is it when you really get the social proof that what you're doing is good, It's subjective, of course, but anyway, it really feels great. So the first thing is to ask for really a short period of time. You can really get results with LinkedIn for like 10 minutes a day, Like if you're a salesperson, of course, you can spend there like 10 hours a day. but for a CEO, 5 minutes, it's just perfect. Then the other thing is that at the moment, there are people, like basically at least thousands of people who would like to see her content. And they're interested in what she has to say. And it's not like blogging, like I blog somewhere and nobody comes and reads it. You are really creating opportunities for sales for your people. So definitely it's like having a huge database for free and not using it. Like somebody's telling you, like, here's the phone with people who could buy from you, but you don't have the time to pick it up and call one person a day. So you just need to do one little step and then another step, like one foot in front of the other. So the advice for the managers and CEOs, board level people, is to give them very small steps. Like start with the profile, for example. She doesn't have to do anything with it. You can prepare it for her. It's just a great start. And then try to make her to connect with more people. This is very difficult for C-level people. But then when they start to really see the social proof and like getting connected and seeing the added value for them, they will be like, oh, I had 500, but now I have 5,000 people in my network and I see the reach increasing. I see leads coming. I see candidates coming. And when they see the numbers, they're hooked.
And the awesome thing is that the C-level managers usually have the following already. Like they have already the thousands of people. They are just not using them.
Yes.
Often.
Like everyone wants to connect with a C-level person. It's the same with the content. Like when you create content as a C-level guy, you really get much more traction than a specialist level person in your company.
Yeah, it's totally true. And even if you start with a small following, it can grow up really quickly. And even with a small following, your reach is probably going to be quite interesting. That's what we know and what we saw already many times.
I have one last thing, Adam.
Sure.
That you can tell your CEO that probably your competition is already on LinkedIn, and not only they're on LinkedIn, probably they have a plan. So usually this works. Thank you.
Great. Now we're not, I wouldn't say running out of time, but we are having still 2 presentations before us. So Daniel, it's now your turn. This one will be probably more about ads than the rest. So Daniel is from Social Sharks, the advertising director, and one of the few people in the Czech Republic working intensively with LinkedIn ads for quite a long time. So I'm sure he's got numbers to share.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your introduction. I will just open my presentation. And yes, I work with ads for a few years now. In Social Sharks, I also focus on strategy. I lead the ads team here. So I create the budget splits. I create the routes for the promo. So pick the platforms to use and looking for the ways how to use these platforms. My part of presentation will be something like LinkedIn 101 or Express Guide how to start off LinkedIn, or if you should start off LinkedIn, because it's not for everyone and you have to know what you're doing. And I love what Ivana said about the target, about you have to start with what you want to do, what you want to achieve on LinkedIn, because if you don't have some purpose on LinkedIn, you'll just try this and that and then stop because you didn't have any target, you didn't have any KPI, and you will just spend a bunch of time and money and stop because, well, something happened, I don't have any result. So the first thing before you even start doing anything, well, in marketing, but especially on LinkedIn, you have to have a target, because let's face it, you either have to invest your time, which is not free, or your money to ads, which is also not free. And LinkedIn is quite expensive compared to Facebook and Google and other platforms. So you have to use the impressions you get as best as possible for you. You can have the basic target, can be brand, can be performance. I think if your target group is really specific, like people with 5+ years in cloud computing tech, or another very specific business type of people you are looking for them, LinkedIn is perfect place for you. You will pay a bit more for the impressions, for the link clicks, but you are getting the target audience you won't find anything else, and that's great. If you just want to reach men 40+ with kids, I suggest there are better platforms and cheaper for you. If you are just want to, for example, build your brand, LinkedIn is really not the platform where you just want to show your logo or your product, because it's quite expensive for that. You have to get as much possible as from your impressions. From performance point of view, I think there is. I was thinking like how to say if the brand should try running performance campaign on LinkedIn, and I think if you can easily imagine paying $2 per link click or euros, and you are okay with that, and you can get needed return on your media spend with €2 per link click, LinkedIn could be for you. If you can't afford to pay €2 per link click, there are cheaper platforms which maybe will suit more for you. And also for people thinking about performance, I would suggest test your campaigns, your landing pages, your creative somewhere else, and then bring your A game to LinkedIn to make as much as possible on LinkedIn. Because, for example, what I usually do, I test my creatives, I test my images, texts, and headlines on Facebook, and then bring the best performing, like 2-3 best of them, to LinkedIn to use them, because it's way cheaper for Facebook, and then I will bring them to LinkedIn. So as I said, without a specific target, you will lose your way and stop the promo. So get some target. With brand, it can be a percentage of target audience reached. It's great when you find your target audience, you communicate with them through paid ads continuously, so you can see how many people you have reached from the target audience. You can have some other targets, like from the numbers, paid ads perspective, but always it has to be something, for example, from that target audience, not from all people on LinkedIn. And as Philip said, not as well, almost no one promotes their ads to whole LinkedIn because there are cheaper placements for it. If you're running performance campaigns, that's easy. This is not a typo. There is just one thing with performance you want to track, and that's amount of conversions under the target cost per acquisition. And you don't care if you paid 50 euros per 1,000 impressions or 10 euros per link click. Only the cost per acquisition matters. So if you have your target, I have 3 things. I always say that they are unique for LinkedIn, why you should go there. The first is mindset. Philip talked about it. You have open-minded people who went to LinkedIn to grow, to learn something new, to find new opportunities, business-wise or career-wise, and you can advertise to those people. You are not showing your ad to people who wanted to see some pics from vacation or funny cats. You are reaching people who want to learn, which is awesome. And you have unique targeting, which you can't find anywhere else. You can target by skills, by position, company, seniority, a lot of things, which you can't find anywhere else. And the third thing is the incremental reach. As I grew up with Facebook as a Facebook advertiser, it's hard to face it, but not everyone is on Facebook and Instagram, and LinkedIn brings great incremental reach. So if you will say yes to LinkedIn, what are your possibilities? We heard about organic, we heard about the ambassadors of your brand, which for me is one of the best ways how to promote your company on LinkedIn, to create ambassadors from your employees. And it's hard, it's really hard, but I think that's the thing where the power of social media lies. It destroys the gap between the customer and the brand. There's not just the logo, there is a person, and it brings people closer to the brand. And I will just quickly go through every part with some tips and tricks for everything. With the organic, Tamas and Philip already talked about it. There are tips for the algorithm which work for your favor. For example, don't share. I tried it with this event earlier today. When I shared an image without a link, just with a text, I got a couple of 100 impressions. When I reshared the event, I got 5 impressions. 5. So that's a huge difference. It's not like, yeah, it's better not to share. It won't deliver if you just share. If you share links, be sure people will click on them, because we are used to think about links like, yeah, and if you want to know more, click on this link. And if you do that, only a small percentage of people will click on the link and algorithm will see, yeah, that link isn't really interesting, so I won't reach more people with your post. So I suggest, if you can have quite nice numbers with a link post, but just when you really build the link post just for the click-through rate, not just, yeah, FYI, you can click on it. It's better to use image and text and put the link to the comment. As we heard, it's great to use more images. It's, well, right now the polls are quite on a rise. The algorithm loves them. I think my best performing post was a poll. So if you have something which makes sense, create a poll, and you can reach thousands of people easily. Also for organic, it's great to engage with other people because the algorithm will like it, the people will like you and engage with you more. Also for the organic, there's the great thing is you can test it. With paid, it's expensive. With organic, it's free. So feel free to test more things, and you can always delete it and repost it. I think we all have been there when we posted something, forget to add something. We saw the numbers were not that great. We deleted it and reposted it. Lowest budget for ads. I will get to that in a sec. With people, with ambassadors, I think Ivana said everything. I think it's really one of the best ways how to use LinkedIn. Also, with the engagement, you can share the new company post to your employees to create some engagement, and you can get your, for example, salespeople, add them as admins to your page, and let them invite their best connections. You have 100 invites per month. If someone accepts the invite, you get the invite back. So you can change it even in a game for your salespeople. Like every month, one person from sales gets the admin and has a month to get the most followers, new followers from their connections. It works. We use that sometimes. You have to have a great people. Don't spam them, but it's quite nice help. Tamas, okay, penalize your post. Thanks for the tip. I didn't test that much if you delete and repost. And now we are getting to the core of my presentation, and that's the paid ads. If you talk with a lot of people about LinkedIn ads, they will just say, yeah, it's expensive. And the main problem is that if you just let the algorithm run wild, you just set everything on automatic, you will pay incredible amount of money for 1,000 impressions and everything. And it's because there is not that many people, and the algorithm will try to spend the money as fast as possible. A couple of years ago, I suggested to use just engagement campaigns with a bid on CPM. It changed. The LinkedIn gets better and better every month. So my tip for now, if you want to drive traffic, well, still, right now you can use the optimizations, which is great. It wasn't been like this like year and a half ago. Now you use the optimizations as they are intended to, but use target cost. Usually it's worked the best. I ran several A/B tests, and the best thing for the lowest prices and best results were to use target cost. So for example, when you're running traffic campaign, you will set the target cost as low as possible. And if the campaigns won't deliver impressions as fast as you need, you will slowly increase the target cost. Usually for Czech Republic, it's about €2 per link click. Then the campaigns run okay. I will show some average prices on the next slide. Also, Philip told about it. Like usually, companies target on 60 to 100,000 people. I would say like if your target group is 40, 50,000 plus, that's like the sweet spot usually for Czech Republic. But also you can try and target really small target groups. A few months ago, we finished a campaign, or we started to use campaign where we target an email list, and only 2,000 people matched. So we had a target group of 2,000 people, and I would say that that's impossible to reach 2,000 people on LinkedIn. and we managed to reach half of them in a month. So even for the really small amount of people, for example, if you are running a leads campaign and then you want to remarket those leads or people from your website, it's quite good to use mail lists, because I must say that the match rate of LinkedIn Pixel isn't that great. But if you have the emails and upload them to LinkedIn, the match rate is usually better. Or combine it. The best way is to use pick audiences from your website and emails. Then I would suggest not to use audience expansion. It's a great feature on Facebook. It doesn't work really well for me. On LinkedIn, usually, for example, when I ran a campaign or senior people, I forgot to turn off the audience expansion. It just straight went to junior people. So on Facebook, it looks for lookalikes. On LinkedIn, it's not there yet, I would say. You can combine formats, so you can't put a single image post and video post in one campaign, which can be a problem. This is just I'm trying to save you some time for trying that. You can do that. Create 2 campaigns and prepare money. And about the minimal media spend, it's 10 euros per day. It's better to have more if your bid is okay, because if you are trying that, you will start with the lowest target cost. You won't even spend the 10 euros per day, and you will try to increase it a bit every time to get to the sweet spot where the prices are quite low and you have enough results, because you don't want to wait 2 months to reach 10,000 people. So it's like a game with LinkedIn, which bit is the best for you. And there are some questions. I will get to them in a second. There are prices. Let's talk prices, because that's like the thing people ask about quite a lot. I went through some ad accounts and created some like ranges, because like with every social media, the price range can differ pretty much. The CPM, you can get to 7-8 euros per 1,000 impressions if you focus on it. And we are getting back to the target. If your target is to reach your audience, the people you selected with the right skills, right seniority and everything, you can get to like 8 euros per 1,000 impressions quite easily. It's not that hard. 10 euros, it's quite easy in Czech Republic. But if you want link clicks, you want to use traffic campaign, you want to use the target cost for about 2 euros in Czech Republic, and you will get the link clicks around there, even lower. Everything in the end is about the creative. I can try anything with these ads, but without a good creative, I can change it. So first focus on your creative, it works, and then you can just improve it with the ad setting. If you are trying to get as much link clicks, for example, on the lead formula, you want to run the traffic campaign, you want to have the target cost, for example, for 2 euros, and you don't care about the 30-40 euros CPM, because you are still getting the cost per click as you want it. So don't be stressed about the 40 euros CPM. It happens, it can be there, and it makes sense because you are getting the links you want. With engagement, because let's face it, still a lot of companies want engagement. You can get you will get around 50 cents per engagement. You can get lower depending again on the creative. So this is like the top and bottom price range. Can you reach less than 1,000 people with any ads outside of sponsored content? I have a feeling that the smallest target group is 300 people, or it used to be that. So
Yeah, I think so. It's for remarketing, but that's Philip will definitely tell us.
Yes, exactly. If it's for retargeting, you need to have at least 300 people.
Yeah.
If you set up targeting in Campaign Manager, you need to have at least 1,000.
Yeah.
But typically, such hyper targeted campaigns do not work well unless it's retargeting.
Exactly. If you are retargeting, it makes sense, but
yeah, because if you're retargeting active members. If you set up targeting on 1,000 people, you don't even know if they're active members or not.
yeah, we managed to have a target group of 2,000 people and reach half of them, but it's not usually like that.
Well, if you target HR people, they're all on LinkedIn. So.
Yeah, exactly. This was the case of HR people. So. Also, if you are really like having problems with retargeting and you are not having enough people because the LinkedIn pixel didn't catch them, I suggest try running retargeting on Facebook, because Facebook pixel is a bit better in remarketing. Well, now with iOS changes, it's getting a bit worse, but don't think just about LinkedIn. Try other ways if you got the people to your website. Okay, Thomas. We have first. I'm not sure about that, Matthij's question.
I think his question is meant towards like if we don't do retargeting, is there any plus of having LinkedIn tech added in terms of, I don't know, the page which is connected to in general?
Yeah, it is, and
yes,
it's like this. It's breakdowns, and this is the last part of my presentation because I think this is a feature which a lot of people forget about. And breakdowns can show you a lot of information about people you have reached with your campaign, people who visited your web page, and with people you are going to reach. And you can get quite nice granularity. You can get information about the about the job function, job title, company industry, job seniority, location, and some other things. So, for example, you can see how many people on your, which percentage of people on your website are really seniors, which is great. You can't find this on any other analytics. And you can see that for campaigns you have had. So, for example, here, this is the website demographic. So, for example, here you can see that 54% of website visitors were senior, which is quite interesting information. And you can get more information like that. You can see the same for the campaigns you ran, and for the campaigns you are going to run. So if you created your awesome target audience, you can double check if you are really reaching or you are gonna reach the people you want, because you have these breakdowns. You are able to see these breakdowns in the ads manager on the ad set level when starting the campaign. So you can see the years of experience, company size, industry, and so you can be sure you are reaching the right people, and that is unique. You can't find this anywhere else. So
also, Dan, if I may, two more things connected to Insight Tech. One, if you want to track conversions with your campaign, you need to have the tag implemented on your website to be able to track conversions. And the second is if you want to use some advanced features like maybe autofill with LinkedIn button on your website for members to easily and seamlessly leave their contact, you're gonna need Insight Tech for that as well.
Yeah, it's a great feature. It's great for reporting to know who you reached, and who are the people you reached. So that's it. I think there is a big typo in opportunities. I'm sorry for that. I think LinkedIn brings great opportunities to marketers who know their audience and target. If you don't know what you want from LinkedIn and you don't measure it, you will just go away because it looks more expensive from in the monthly report where you have Facebook and Google ads, but you have this unique targeting, you have this unique mindset, which bring you way more for your dollar than, for example, Facebook does. So thank you for your time. And are there any new questions? I think I went through them. Yeah, so I think that's it for me. If you don't have any other questions.
There was one point from Tamas about using US dollars as a currency, as it would give you better results. I know this from buying premium version, because buying premium version, I think, not sure how it's today, because I pay it in dollars actually, but I saw that now we have already price in Czech crowns, which is, I think, rather new, because it used to be in euros, and the ad accounts are still in euros. There's like, this hasn't changed. I know that back in the days of my work in Business Factory, I bought the guys their premium accounts in Canadian dollars, because these were actually even cheaper than US dollars. But that was just kind of, funny hack. I still live on Personal Plus premium account, which is not available anymore, but I think these days are slowly coming over, and I'll upgrade as well. Anyway, we still have Bartek.
Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Last tip I wanted to say that now you can have link posts with square images, which is quite interesting. I think a lot of companies are just used to make old horizontal images. Now you can have square images in link posts. It can help someone who is producing, for example, images for Facebook ads and LinkedIn ads. You had to have these two sizes. Now you can use just squares. I didn't finish my testing if it's better.
This gets a little problematic if you want to promote it later on. Because if you use like dark post, like direct sponsored content, then you can use square images and it works well across all devices. But if you post organic square image post and then promote it, it doesn't look good, because it shrinks the square image into this smaller thing, and it just doesn't look any good. For some reason with video it works. It doesn't really matter what kind of square or whatever, what kind of dimensions you use, but with pictures, for some reason it does matter.
Yeah, so only for dark posts in which you set in ads.
Yes.
Okay, so
just I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure.
A question to Philip or Daniel. Do you know, maybe Bartek, but I don't know what you are going to talk about. Do you know what is the difference between mobile users and desktop users? Because I think that's very important, that if you are, what I've heard is 60% of the users are coming from mobile only. So a squared image for mobile is fun, but a horizontal image for mobile is not very good. And what's coming in the future is this new TikTok-ish videos. So that's going to be all horizontal. So
well, horizontal for mobile is great. It's bad for. And you can advertise and you can put horizontal pictures there too. They do not get they do not get impressions on desktop, only on mobile devices. So that might be a hack how to display paid content only on mobiles. In general, the split is, I believe, 55% mobile, 45% desktop, but it varies with audiences. And some audiences, I've seen some audiences being like 80% mobile, but if we run like a report for our clients about the split, it's typically somewhere around 60-40. It's far more desktop traffic than any other social platform. And the reason is obvious, because people use it at work. So they use it on their computers.
So now we can create two very different advertisements, the text ads and the display ads for desktop only, and the horizontal images for mobile only.
Yeah, and text ads, at least from the top rail, they're gonna disappear by the end of the year.
This year?
End of this year.
Wow.
I think they will remain on the right rail, like where the dynamic ads show, but from the top of the rail, they're not gonna be there anymore. And spoiler alert, from tomorrow, you will not be able to use message ads within EU.
WTF?
What? Like
in mail?
Like message ads and conversation ads, yes.
what?
Because of the regulations of the analytics.
Well, because of the GDPR related issues. And it seems that every member would have to agree with receiving messages into their inbox.
Wow.
Yeah, Facebook had the same problem. They just don't report it. You can still run ads which target to Messenger, but they just won't say anything like how many people clicked on.
Well, we'll see. I mean, this is the news from today, and LinkedIn was supposed to send out emails to advertisers today. And I believe that from next week, you won't be able to set up a sponsored message campaign. And from like 15th of January, all email campaigns in EU will stop delivering. So if you want to run a campaign, sponsored message, you need to set it up now, and it will stop delivering in 15th of January or something like that. Outside of EU, you will still be able to do it.
Okay. Wow. that's a big one. All right. We still have Bartek.
But we don't have time, yeah?
We do have time. Well, okay. we do have time, but I feel sorry for you that you've been waiting, and seems maybe next time we should start earlier, because I see the audience shrinking a bit. But yeah, let's go ahead. It's yours, and let's get to it.
Thanks for inviting me, Adam. Thanks for all. Your presentation was very, very, very good, and I heard with pleasure. So I try to put my 50 stacks of slides put in 10 minutes, so everyone can go. I don't know, to tell the kids story because they want to go to bed. So now, I'm from Poland, I'm from Sharebee, and we believe in Sharebee that the best advocates for your brand are your employees. And we do something with these employee advocates programs from, I don't know, 3 years. Yeah, we start working with Orange with our solution, and for now we work with almost I don't know why this go out, and now we work with every I think every branch company from different from I don't know how to say. Sorry. Okay. So go. We work for one thing. We work to employee advocacy. We work to put the promotion of an organization, but the workforce, because we believe that employees can share content and engage in conversation, building trust with their audiences, who by association build trust with brand. We start to empower them because we believe that everyone from salesman to CEO can do that. And the second leg, when we talk about marketing on LinkedIn, on other social platform, except ads, yeah, because we get ads and we get employee advocacy. And employee advocacy program encourage employees to post their own post by their own accounts and build their own brands. And it helps to build relationships not only with these advocates, ambassadors, but also with brands. And we believe that can, in the long way and the long shot, could put some new ways to target these new audiences. So the people who are going to best advocates for you, they are employees that we build, and I think that is clear. As advocates, they can share the brand content, but they can build trust by making connection with the brand audiences. And if you want to start your employee advocacy programs, you must find one thing. You must change the way the company communicates with the world, from one to many, by only from brand to many, to many, because if you got many employees, they got their own voice and they got their own communities. They can do a great job for your brand. So, how to start? How to launch employee advocacy campaign? First thing, start with why. Start to ask yourself what you want to achieve, and there are different topics, different goals that you can achieve doing that with your employees. So we don't focus on this now. We start think how to launch an employee advocacy program. First thing, find the people who already have a strong presence on social media, who can who do this well on any channel. Same thing, tell Ivana. They find some people who I don't know, put some content on Instagram, on Facebook, and they want to do. If you ask them, if you tell them that you start something on LinkedIn, and I think that is the crucial moment, because if you get these people on your program, you got first step already done. Now, develop advocacy training that helps employees find their own voice first. What is the topic they can care most about, and help them to find a powerful message that will establish them in the way that they want to be known for. Because this sentence for us is part of our content strategy. because some of our ambassadors of our clients don't have enough courage, and we must work with them, ask them what they like to do, what they like to share, not only the company message, but their own message. So if you do this thing, you can put your program on the right track, because if they find their own voice and then find the fun of it, they will engage with these programs. We talk a lot about LinkedIn and why we choose this channel that I skip this thing. Why we need CEOs? Because they encourage your people to do the same thing. If we look on the numbers, almost all of CEOs got a greater reach and get a great engagement under their post than the company. Never mind which best content. So if you got CEO also with this program, I think that you are on the winning way. So next thing, make the roadmap. Ask your people what they want from you. Tell them what we will do, and show them how we will work over the all program. If you don't do this, you I think lost in your way to reach the goal. So to make the roadmap, even with this, I don't know, if you gain some people for pilot, you can show them and tweak for other for the rest of your way. I think that's problem with slides. Another thing, if you got social media policy, make it simple. Make it to the 3 sentences, make it to maybe 2 sentences. Think who can see that, because it especially with larger organization, especially with banking, they got their own regulations about what to do or not, what to the one not talking about on the social media. If you put it in the simple way, the people will recognize that they are invited to this program because someone give them right and straight track to do this. How to manage employee advocacy? I don't know how Ivana can manage that. We must manage that with tools. If you got a company page, you can find my page. When you put sometimes your own content to, I don't know, to show them what to publish, because after training, after working with small groups, they always ask, okay, I will do that, but tell me how, and tell me what I can do, put on my profile. So manage that with simple tools like this my company employee advocacy tweak from LinkedIn. We use our tool Sharebee to put some content that our ambassadors can take it and put on the social media like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. But our tool can manage one thing more, because we put here not only content from our content team, but with this tool they can put their own content. Why we do that? Because when they publish on LinkedIn or any other social media, we can measure that. We can find where this content go, who get best results, and the other thing, we put to our tool gamification. That we find that if you put some goals for people, even that the goals they're only by gaining some points, they are more engaged with these programs. Okay, you can take these points and give them some I don't know, diplomas or that made one of our clients. But if you want it, you can do for them personal trainings about LinkedIn or about other social media. But if they can compete with the colleagues, they earn more engaged for these programs. So that all for our platform, a little ads. But what the effects of employee advocacy that we find after these 3 years of working? We find that ambassadors gain more reach, more action, more comments that simply can do company page, and it was on every case that we work with our clients. So if you got IT clients, pharmaceutical clients, now we got company from construction equipment, and they got so many reactions and comments under the post that we are still amazed that it is possible. Because this is the one thing: the people talk to the people, and they engage with posts that their post from the friends or from the connections. Adam asked, is Sharebee only in Polish? No, we have English version, and ever better than my English now. Forgive me, because I got some stress about today's evening. So the benchmark shows in every aspect that if you got some ambassadors, if they put their own content or prepared content, they achieve reach, engagement, comments. They feel that this is the way that they want to do. Ivana tells that time is crucial, because every ambassador asks, okay, how many time I must spend on social media to achieve my goals or to be a great ambassador. And the answer is for us, one, tell them what to do, teach them how to do, but give them some tools. If you give them content, if you give them tools like this My Company on the LinkedIn page, or Sharebee or other employee advocacy platform, they stay with this for much longer and they want to work with you. So this is my tips for starting employee advocacy programs. Remember that the people connect with people, and this is the best way to create engagement and to create reputation for your ambassadors and for your brand. And the last thing, measure the effects and find what works and what works not. So this is all for me, and I hope that I got some times for questions, because I got a little personal situation here. Okay, thanks for your time and for your patience.
Sure, no worries. No problem. Don't be nervous. I think we're not native speakers anyway, so it's a lingua franca. But I think we all in Central Europe understand each other when talking English. So don't be scared. It's just matter of practice. So we've had Matej with the question. Yeah, it was vertical on mobile. So that's I think clear. We have somebody typing something. I'll check yet the.
I'm just gonna unmute myself if I can. It's gonna be quicker. I wanted to ask you about your tool, because we have had clients who have their own tools for employee advocacy, but their engagement through their tools is really low. Like when it's organically posted into LinkedIn, the engagement is like 10 times higher. Like, what's your experience with that?
If you put your own content, always engagement grow. But with our tools, you can, if you got this piece of content, you can create your own post, because we can create posts for you, and you can click post on LinkedIn. But before that, you can go to this prepared post, and you can put your own words to this piece of content. And we find that if someone make this post by their own voice, they always gain great reach than others.
I think the question here is, couldn't it be that the tools are somehow penalized by the algorithm? So posting through whatever it is, Contentino, Hootsuite, Buffer, lowers the reach? Because I think there's like plenty of discussions how people were testing it. Some say this, some say that. LinkedIn, I think, always says there is no difference, right? Like these tools should be like 1-to-1. What we found, for example, is a different thing, that using ZoomSphere, we always have problems tagging the profiles so it works. What's your experience?
Okay. We don't find that the reach of content posted by Sharebee are lower than originally. We are partner with LinkedIn. We got access from them, and the only thing that LinkedIn closed some kind of content. We cannot do a video. We cannot do articles by our tool, and we cannot do these pools that are very reachable, yeah? And they grow over the LinkedIn. The only thing that if you think about views and engagement, touches the quality of content. If you put great work, if you have time, if you got something and publish by this tool, you can get great engagement. We got examples for our ambassadors from Ford. By the way, we start working for Ford after pilot in Poland, program pilot in Poland for Romania, Hungary, because the ambassadors put their own content, and this content brings new clients. This content change for this marketing division, thinking about what we can do by our ambassadors, because Ford work not by Ford employees, but with dealers, and gave this tool for the dealers. And the dealers always get problem with time to create content, with time to create engagement, because they must sell. And after a year of this program, some ambassadors became stars for Polish LinkedIn about motorization, about automotive industry, because they don't talk not only about Ford and the brand Ford, but they talk about whole industry. And they create discussions. They engage with other creators because they find this is the fun. And I think not the tool. Tool is important because you can measure, you can put this simple way, but the best way to achieve is to teach them how to create great posts, great content, great articles, and sometimes great video.
I would like to ask Ivana about if they are using any tools, because Sharebee looks fantastic for me. And yeah, measuring is always a good thing, because then you can do something with the knowledge. But Ivana, are you using some kind of tool for this?
Yeah, it depends on the scale of the project. Like if it's just in Slovakian companies, we usually just use the analytics that the profile have, or we use a Shield app. I don't know if you work with Shield app, like it has a great analytics for the personal profiles. And then for the company profiles, we do have our own tool for that, but it's just a very simple one, and we never post through that, because we have seen like really like Hootsuite, Buffer, and other tools decreased the organic reach by around 30%. So we just want those people to really go and post it live.
Thanks very much. Does Shield working also with company pages? Because when I used it, and when I made an interview with one of their employee at that time, they said that Shield app works with company pages, but not very well.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's like the same data that you will get from your company profile. You don't have any reason to like use Shield for that. There's nothing like, it's because of the API for company pages. It doesn't work really better. So I think it's like the best way is to count it yourself. It's not that much data usually for company pages like that. You need more like the analytics that is there. And also the analytics for company pages is getting better and better. Like basically when you use that, like from our experience, many companies, like when we tell them like, okay, we're going to use Shield, they are not even tracking like their basic stats that they have, like SSI index or something like that. So we don't want to like overwhelm them, yeah, with like too much statistics. So it's done on our part. Like they don't have to see that. They just give us their trust so that we really track the analytics. We have around 20 KPIs that we are measuring, like on personal profiles and then the company profile too. But like they don't need to know. Like we just give them the final numbers and that's it. Because then it really gets overwhelming, like too techy, and then like everyone's like turning off.
We've had just recently a conversation with Daniel about or he posted on LinkedIn a very nice post on how to measure engagement rate and what does it actually mean, which was actually meant more for Facebook, but I found long time ago the metrics which says engagement rate on LinkedIn just nonsense basically, because it doesn't really say anything about your page compared to others, because if one page posts a lot of galleries, they simply have engagement rate in tens of percents, which doesn't really says anything. But I remember asking Philip some time ago for some kind of statistics which were earlier available on the page and are not available now. For example, you in Slovakia and Hungary know well that the geographical breakup of a country can be very different. So in the Czech Republic, it's the level of, I think, 80 okres, which means like very, very small cities, districts. In Slovakia, I think it's counties, and Hungary is Hungary. It's like doesn't really gives you any detail.
No. We have counties as well. Counties.
Okay, but I know that in some for some countries it was just a country. But anyway, for
yes,
one of our international client, we wanted to see what used to be in the reports, so to be able to see just the countries, but the list of them, the full list, and we don't see it because top 20 positions are occupied by different districts in the Czech Republic, which are not actually interesting for us. And HTT Pool was able to pull this kind of statistics for us, which is sometimes very helpful. So do you have, Philip, any news on the statistics, and maybe what's the difference of your approach that you can get to this kind of data? Because I don't know, LinkedIn does it. They have it, right?
Yes, I mean, obviously they do have very detailed data about everyone and about every post. As a partner of LinkedIn, we can request certain advanced reports and analysis, and that's what we do actually for our partners and clients. We do not have obviously access to their system, but we can request various reports, including the split of, let's say, followers, very detailed to the last country.
because sometimes, I would even like to know, but I don't really know what I don't know, right? So it's tricky to request something when I'm not really aware that this might actually be an option.
Yeah, well, the truth is that most of these reports are valuable for like the big clients who run a lot of campaigns across the typically big region or globally, because the more like campaigns you run and the more data you put in, the more valuable data you get back. So, I mean, we run lots of reports for smaller local clients, and very seldom they provide some like really valuable input for them.
Are we talking about the split by country through ads or organic? Because for ads, it's possible to get it in the ads manager.
This I mean, like the level of a company page that you just want to see the followers, which it would, kind of like why they don't add next page so we can see more than those, I don't know, whether it's 20 or 50. It's kind of silly, and it was there, so especially given the fact that it was there, it's kind of like
Yeah, on the other hand, they're trying to move a lot of things that were earlier premium to the company page and make it available for everybody for free. LinkedIn used to have its own employee advocacy, like.
Oh, the Elevate?
Yes, it was called Elevate. It was extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. And LinkedIn has, I think at the end of last year, they stopped running it. But they have moved a lot of the things on the company page level, which is great. So you can, invite people to follow, you can notify employees, and there is like all these like tabs that are shown on the company page and are new. So that's part of their employee advocacy.
Yeah, well, I think that's it. I guess not many attendees left anyway, but I think I hope this was valuable not just for the audience but for the speakers themselves to meet each other and check what the others are up to. And well, let's stay in touch. We'll see. Maybe you'll get some personal questions one-to-one from the audience, and we have here Peter. Not sure whether he's gonna write something about this, but I think he's already writing about the end of the message ads in the Czech Republic. So I think that's gonna be out today. So I'm glad we had this kind of bump, even though I'm not really happy that that's the case, and that it was not some kind of good news, but rather bad news. Thank you very much for coming once again. Thank the audience or the future listeners for staying with us. Babeltalk will try to continue in the same way, so inviting people from our neighboring countries on different topics. Today it was LinkedIn. The next one will be probably based on very different social media tools. So we'll see how it will turn out. It will be in early January, and yeah, have fun, stay healthy, and enjoy the rest of the Advent and the Christmas and everything.